Welcome, sports fans, to week 9 of Glass Half Full. I'm your host, Johnny Gale, joined by my good friends and first-class sports handicappers, Eric Easy Cohen and Nikki the Great Stoikus. Fellas, it's a pleasure to be on the show with you.
Johnny, it's a pleasure to be here, man. And it's a real pleasure to be here at this time of the year, week 9 of pro football. This is when the cream rises to the top. This is when things get hot. I mean, this is oven mitt time, am I right?
Absolutely. It's week 9. We know who the contenders are, the pretenders are, who to make money on, who to fade. No doubt about it. Let's get at it.
Let's get at it is right. But before we get into our week 9 picks, we're going to recap week 8. In LA, we had a Hollywood thriller as the Rams just outlasted Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to win by 2. The Cleveland Browns, they decided to clean house as they rid themselves of head coach Hugh Jackson and OC Todd Haley. And as if the Raiders and the Giants didn't remind us enough on a weekly basis, they showed us just who they really are. They showed us they're one of the worst teams in the league, if not the 2 worst teams in the league.
Garbage.
Good thing the Raiders are on prime time this week.
Yeah.
And speaking of good to bad and bad to good, Ryan Fitzpatrick came up with a little Fitz magic, erasing an 18-point deficit, only to have to watch from the sidelines and see a game-winning field goal go right through the pipes at the buzzer. I mean...
What more can happen? What more can happen? I'm telling you.
Well, Donnie, we're about to find out, aren't we? And just so you viewers get caught up to speed with exactly what our first-class handicappers are going to be doing this season, let me tell you, they have $10,000 to spend. They're going to bet with units, each unit being equivalent to $100. They're going to make their picks as bronze, silver, and gold. It is their job to know their limit and stay within it. Everything in moderation, even moderation. So Easy, why don't you get us started with your bronze pick?
Well, my bronze pick is going to be for 5 units. So again, that's $500. And we're going to start with a team that I have in my power rankings is the top 5 elite football team. That is the Los Angeles Chargers. You look at the Chargers' 2 losses this year. They were to Kansas City week 1 again. They easily could have won. And to the undefeated Los Angeles Rams. When they play mediocre competition, they win. Chargers off a bye, back at it, and getting points. Now, Seattle, a lot of talk this week. Are they the most underrated team in the NFL? Why? Because they beat the Raiders and the Lions? Yeah, Seattle's decent. They're good. They're not great like the Superchargers. I like getting 2 points here. Phillip Rivers playing out of his mind. You look at that quarterback class. Rivers and Roethlisberger still playing at a high level. Yeah, Eli Manning sucks, but Rivers is still elite. This Chargers team, when they get Bosa back, they're right there with the Chiefs and the Patriots in the AFC. You get 2 points with a team this good that I feel like they're way better than Seattle. Seattle, again, defensively playing well, but they have not faced this kind of competition. I mean,
they came off a win against Detroit, and you're not sold on Detroit.
No, I think Detroit's mediocre too.
Right.
So as we said in our intro, there's elite, there's good, there's mediocre, and Seattle's right there. LA's right here. Well, and you give me a team that's elite, and you give me 2 points, and a team that's healthy other than the Bosa injury, I'm taking the Chargers. Give me 2 points with LA on the road in Seattle.
Absolutely. You have a 5-2 team in LA with a great quarterback in Phillip Rivers. I mean, quarterback rating at 118
He's
this
playing
year.
out of this world.
17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yep.
It's a great quarterback matchup.
Yep.
You have Russell Wilson, who has 16 to 4 takeaways. Let's go to our other one there. Nikki, the Great Stoikus, what's your bronze pick? Get us started.
Well, thanks, Johnny. My bronze pick this week is the Washington Redskins at home versus the Atlanta Falcons for 5 units. Now, the Falcons are getting 1.5 points in this game. Washington only laying 1.5 points at home. I don't think they're getting any respect. I think they've been disrespected for the last month. 3 weeks ago they played Carolina at home. Public was all over the Panthers. What happened? Redskins win 23-16. A week later, Redskins are at home again versus the Cowboys. Public's all over the Dallas Cowboys. They thought the win over the shitty Jacksonville Jaguars was all impressive. Washington handled them for all the game, came down to a last-minute field goal. They ended up prevailing anyways. Last week, a very disrespectful point spread again for the Redskins. They go into New York, play the Giants, the New York Giants. 1-point spread. I thought the spread should have been 6. Would have been more accurate. Vegas, you lost lots of money. I think you're going to lose Actually, you're going to win money this week. You know why? The public's backing the Falcons. How is this possible? How is the public backing the Atlanta Falcons? They have played 2 games on the road all year. How's that? Atlanta, 3-4 record, 2-5 against the spread. Redskins, 5-2 record, 5-2 against the spread. Falcons played 2 road games all year. They lost at Philly, scoring 12 points in week 1. Then they lost at Pittsburgh against a very pedestrian Steelers defense, scoring 17.
They got blown out in that game,
They got blown out in that game. Wasn't even close. Now, we know Matt Ryan and these Falcons, they don't play nearly as well outdoors as they do at the Georgia Dome. And the Skins, they're on a roll, man. They got a great D. I like their defense, led by the Bama boys. You know, that defensive line there. They're looking great, man. They're playing at a high level. Atlanta barely squeaked by the Bucks and the Giants in recent weeks at home. Why are they only plus 1.5? I think the spread should be 4.5 points. I think the Vegas is off with this. However, you're getting public money on Atlanta. People, give up on the Falcons. This is not the same team that almost beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. That was then. This is now. You're going to wait for them to show up saying, Atlanta, where are you? Where are you? They're never going to show up for you. Redskins roll this week at home, minus the 1.5 points. Love the Redskins, 5 units on Washington.
All right. And that will take us into our silver picks. As you just heard, the bronze, they felt very comfortable about their bronze. So let's see how they feel about their silver picks. Easy Cohen.
Well, if I like my bronze, I got to like my silver a little bit more. We're going to go 10 units on this play, and we're going to go right to the Demaryius Thomas revenge game. We're going to head to Mile High.
They're playing right off the bat, eh?
They are, yeah. Demaryius Thomas gets traded this week, and then he plays his old team. And the line does move, right? So you were getting 3 points with Houston when that line came out, which I thought was a joke to begin with. I mean, are we forgetting Houston's won 5 in a row? Speaking of no respect, the Houston Texans aren't getting much respect with that line. Spreads down to about 2, but you're still, again, I talked about it in my bronze pick. I'm going to talk about it again here. You're getting points with a better team. And I think in the NFL, when you get points with a better team, you got to take it. You're getting 2 points with Houston, team that's won 5 in a row, team that's clicking. And you know what? Mindset, psychology. If you're playing on the Houston Texans, you know if you go out and you play the way you can play, you're going to win your division. Jacksonville, as Nikki said, they're shit right now. Tennessee's not for real. Houston's the only team in that division that's for real. After the 0-3 start, they got their shit together. They're 5-0. Deshaun Watson coming off a 5-touchdown game primetime against the Miami Dolphins. And in that game, they lost Will Fuller, their number 2 receiver behind Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, great receiver. And what do the Texans do? They go and they fill that void. They go to Denver and they get Thomas. They bring him in. Now, all of a sudden, you got your 1-2 combo in Houston. What does Denver have? I mean, Vance Joseph said, it's our Super Bowl playing the Chiefs last week. We know if we win this game, we can go and make the playoffs. Well, you didn't win the game. You got a backdoor cover, dude.
Right.
Good for you. You got your backdoor cover. You didn't win no game. And you know what? Who's Denver beating this year? I mean, they beat Seattle week 1 when they couldn't beat anybody, Seattle. And then they beat the Raiders at home, and they needed a last-second field. Denver's not good. No. Let's face it, Denver's just not a good football team. Yeah, I'm going with Houston plus 2 points. That's my bronze pick.
Nikki, what do you got for us on your silver?
Well, I got a special thing going on right here. I got a silver-gold combination here because I couldn't decide who I like better to make my silver and who I like to make my gold. Now, these two games here are going to be some liabilities for Las Vegas. They really are. Las Vegas, I don't think you made these numbers high enough. Here's the teams I'm taking for my silver and my gold. 10 units apiece, the Chiefs and the Bears. Now, the Chiefs are laying 8.5 in Cleveland. The Bears are laying 10 in Buffalo. And I like to make it clear, I'm not a fan of taking double-digit spreads in the NFL. Never mind on the road. However, this is an exception. These teams are going to blow out their competition this week. And like I said, Vegas has liabilities. Why? Everybody and their evil stepsister is betting on the Chiefs and the Bears. But I don't think you made the spread high enough, Vegas. I think it should have been 13, 14. If Brady is good enough to be minus 14 going into Buffalo against Anderson, a much more competent quarterback, why are the Bears minus 10 only? Why is that not spread not 14? I don't think you could have made the spread high enough for me not to like Chicago or Kansas City. You know, Nathan Patty Cakes Patterman is starting at quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Just a travesty.
This guy should
or
be playing. Peterman, whatever. He's a patty cake. He's no good. He's garbage. This guy should be playing for the Buffalo Bulls. Never mind the Buffalo Bills. I think there are a dozen college quarterbacks who are more competent than this guy. These players on the Bills, they're gonna, a few weeks ago they said that the locker room was in jeopardy of being lost because these athletes, they don't want to play with Patterman at quarterback. Peterman, patty cakes.
You had a guy retire at the half the last time he started a game.
Guys, get ready for it because the Bears are going to lay a romping beatdown on the Bills. All right, Chicago looked good against New England 2 weeks ago. The Pats, cream of the crop, man. They're right up there, of course. Very respectable loss. Then the Bears handled business against the Jets last week, 124-10. Now this Bills team, I think we're going to see something similar to when Johnny Manziel played his first career NFL game against the Bengals a few years back, and they lost 30-0. He looked like a kid. He looked like a boy playing amongst grown men. He got thrown around like a rag doll. It wasn't even close. They lost 30-0. I don't think he crossed midfield until the fourth quarter.
Khalil Mack is licking his chops looking at Nathan.
And now, was he going to play?
No, I think they rest him. I think they should rest him. They probably just rest him in that game.
They're not going to need him. Yeah. The Bears are going to lay a beat down, and I think after they do, and after the Chiefs win as well by a bunch of points, we might see some bodies buried in the Nevada desert because the Vegas, like I said, Vegas, you're big time. You're gonna be waking up Sunday morning. You're already sweating. You put those numbers out. All the money came in on the Bears, and all the money came in on the Chiefs, and you started sweating your bags off all week long. You've been sweating. Sunday morning, you're gonna be sweating. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna see the scoreboard. You're gonna go 7-0 both teams probably. It might be relatively close first quarter. Hey, the Browns were up 6-0 against Pittsburgh until the Steelers roared back. So these games are not going to be close. The Bears are going to roll. I think they win. Maybe Buffalo gets shut out. This might be a 27-0 game. Lay the 10 points. Lay them large. I'm going in for 10 units on the Bears -10. And the other part of the Silver Gold combo, the Kansas City Chiefs, of course.
Wow.
The Kansas City Chiefs -8.5 in Cleveland. Johnny, you mentioned that they just finished cleaning house after LeBron James left town. Tyronn Lue left town. The Browns fired everybody but the team mascot, and now you got this Browns team. They're in disarray. They're in shambles. They know they're not going anywhere, right? They're 2-5 on the year, right? We thought maybe they'd be somewhat contenders, early on. We thought maybe that pipe dream is over. They're the same old Browns now, and they stink. And who's coming into town to play them? The Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the beautiful mind, the genius. They are going to lay a romping beatdown on the Cleveland Browns on the dog pound. They're -8.5. I don't know how you don't make the spread at least double digits. What am I missing here? These Browns, man, they're going to give up. I mean, they're going to play and they're going to try to win. Sure, maybe, I don't know, but they probably know that they don't have a prayer because Kansas City is unstoppable right now. They lost one game all year to New England. They're 7-1 straight up. 7-1 against the spread. The only spread they didn't cover, -10 at home. You mentioned the backdoor cover by the Chiefs, by the Broncos, and that was when Kansas City was up by a bunch in that game. Backdoor cover. That was last week. This is this week. Kansas City is going to lay a beat down on the Browns. Love them -8.5 points for 10 units. I love the Chiefs and the Bears to lay a whooping, -8.5, -10. $1,000 a piece on both those games. My gold, silver combo. Let's go.
I got my gold pick.
Let's hear your gold pick.
Got my gold pick.
Yeah.
We're going 15 units. I like the Carolina Panthers, and I talked a lot about this with some other people that I've discussed NFL with, and I feel like Carolina, as Nikki says, Washington, Carolina also very, very undervalued this year. You look at what they've done. Cam Newton right now is playing better than he was in his MVP season.
Little
Cam,
thank you.
15-1 a couple years ago. MVP went to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton's numbers better than Cam Newton that year. 5% better completion percentage for Cam. This year, undefeated at home. Healthy McCaffrey. Healthy Olsen. We saw Olsen step up. They are loaded, Carolina, right now. They are, like I mentioned with the Chargers earlier, Carolina is a top 3 or 4 team right now in the NFC. You're laying 6.5 against Tampa Bay. Really? I mean, Johnny, you mentioned earlier that Tampa Bay stormed back against. They were down 18 in that game. They brought in Fitzmagic, and he did his thing and got him back to even. But it's a very different Ryan Fitzpatrick when you prepare for him as a starter or when he comes into a game.
Right.
Carolina's preparing for him to start this football game. I don't think it's going to go so well for Fitzmagic, even though I'm sitting beside his brother right now. I don't think it's going so well for him. I think Carolina goes wins this game. I think they win it handily. I think they win it by more than a touchdown. I think Newton and the Panthers keep on rolling because Tampa Bay, one of the worst defenses in the league. They're gonna get lit up by Canada and the Panthers. They are bad. They've already fired their DC. Fired the DC this year. He's terrible.
Well, that's gonna wrap up our medal picks for week 9. But I can't help but smell this stinky. What the hell is this about this stinky fish? Can you pass this over? Easy to Nick.
I don't need no salmonella. Get this thing away from me.
That's chicken, not fishy.
Oh.
That's chicken, not fish. And this fish right here is about the fishy line of the week that we're going to be giving to you every week. Usually about an underdog looking to win the game outright. And you know what? You said it. You like the Panthers. This is gold pick. We're a little bit off on this one. This thing really does stink, by the way. But I like the Buccaneers here. Now, Skitsmagic, let's call him Skitsmagic because he's schizophrenic when he plays football, it looks like. You never know which guy you're going to get. You know, the guy comes out week 1, he has a gunslinging show against the Saints in New Orleans, against the high-powered Saints, only guy to win in New Orleans this year. Gives them their only loss, right? Fitzmagic. Sometimes he looks like the best quarterback in the league. Other times he lays an egg and chucks 15 interceptions back-to-back games with the Steelers and the Bears.
That's what I'm banking on.
This game here, let me tell you something about this game here. The Panthers are all high and mighty on their horse, you know, so they should be. And this spread is pretty much where it should be. However, 65% of public action coming in on Carolina. Everyone thinks, including you, it's going to be a rout. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Bucs are going to keep this game closer than people think. And, you know, Fitzpatrick, he takes his job very seriously. I'm glad they're starting him. All right, Jameis Cheeseburger Head Winston. This guy, he should never start another football game for the Bucs again. He needs to clean up his act off the field if he wants to play pro football. His goofball performance in life off the field translates to his performance on the field.
Seafood, Uber drivers,
stay away from the crab
fingers.
The guy's a joke. The guy's a joke. You don't want to be betting on Cheeseburger Winston, but I'll tell you who I do like here is Fitzmagic. Now, he's unpredictable, but this guy does take his job seriously. He really does. He's a gentleman, too. He's got 8 kids or something like that. You know, he's a journeyman. He's been playing for years.
He's smart. He's from Harvard, too.
Yeah, he went to Harvard.
He's a smart guy.
Smart guy, you know. Hey, 8 kids with the same woman. He is a gentleman.
Same woman?
Class act.
How's that fun?
Class
like
act. Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something else about
like
this
Cromartie.
game here.
Unlike Cromartie, that's right. Cromartie, a little 8 and 9 action, a little 9 and 10 action.
Sorry, Cromartie's father of the year in 8 of 10 states.
So the Panthers, they're playing great football. North Turner, he's got this offense rolling on all cylinders. He really does. Now the Bucs, they got nothing to lose in this game. They really don't. Fitzpatrick, I think he's going to come out. He thought his job was lost again. Cheeseburger Winston took it over. He's got another shot.
He's
got another
new life
shot.
now.
Breathing new life.
Yeah.
And he scored 18 points. He brought him back from the dead last week in Cincinnati. I think he keeps this game close enough for it to be my stinky, fishy line of the week. I think they got a good chance to win the football game outright, believe it or not. Now, I also like to tease this game with the over. I'll tell you why. You're getting him plus 6.5. I like him even more, of course, if you can get another 6.5 points. So I'm going to buy him up to 13, as well as the over 49, because I think the only way that Tampa Bay stays in this game is in a shootout-style football game. I think they score at least 24 points apiece, both teams. So I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to keep it stinky and close, plus 13, over 49 for 5 units. You're getting it at a price of minus 120. So I'm putting up 500 and... Give me 1 second here. So I like the Buccaneers on a teaser, plus 13, over 49 at a price of minus 120, risking 600 to get back 500. Skitsmagic, legendary man. Look at this guy. Glorious beard on him, isn't he? What a handsome fella he is there. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'll tell you, go play out of your mind, fella. Play out of your mind. Keep the game close. Maybe come away with the victory for our stinky, fishy line of the week.
And Nick, I understand you also have a roulette parlay of the week for us.
That's right, Johnny. Our roulette parlay of the week is going to come to you every week. Now, we call it a roulette parlay of the week because it pays right around the amount that you get if you went into a casino and paid your idiot taxes to the already filthy rich governments by picking a random number on a roulette wheel. Guess what? You're never going to win. If you do, maybe you'll win in 1 in every 36 tries. Maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it. I certainly wouldn't. I'd rather shred $100 into the trash can because you can never do it. In fact, never mind that. You know what you got a better chance of doing? betting your $100 on a parlay that I'm going to give you every week. They're going to pay anywhere from 30 to 40 to 1, but I'll tell you something, there's definitely not a 1 in 30 or 40 chance of me hitting it like it would be in a casino on a roulette wheel. Why? I dissect these games very carefully. Mix in a couple overs, a couple unders, a couple short favorites, things like that. Parlay here, 33 to 1. Gonna hit one before the season ends. Watch me. Let's start off with this one. Kansas City, gonna buy a half point, get them down to -8 for -120. Chicago, I think they win by 100. We'll take them for -10. I also like the under 45 in the Jets-Dolphins game. They scored, 20 to 13 or something?
Last
They played
time
a few
they
weeks
played,
ago.
yeah.
Brock Osweiler is a garbage quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think they scored too many points against the Jets. I also think the Jets wither away and melt away in the Florida Heat. I don't think they scored too many points. I won't be surprised if it's a 2017 game. We get it under 45 for the parlay. Also like Houston, like my man E does, plus the 2 points. Also like Redskins, money line, -130. Also like New Orleans Saints, -130 against the Rams. I think that spread should be 3. I think the Rams suffer their first loss of the season this year. New Orleans at home is going to fly high in front of that home crowd. Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara playing out of their minds. Sean Payton, great coach. Rams, juggernauts, powerhouses. Both these teams are, but I like the Saints. And that there is going to pay you 33 to 1. KC -8. Under in the Dolphins game. Skins money line. Bears -10. Houston +1. And New Orleans money line for our roulette parlay of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, these men are going to be cashing you guys in all year round, at least for the rest of the season up to the Super Bowl. So listen attentively and fill those pockets up. Alrighty, I understand that you have a couple teasers for us.
Yeah, let me throw you 2 teasers. I'm going to tease my bronze and silver picks. So I'm going to tease both those small underdogs. I love teasing small underdogs. So you're going to get the Chargers at +9, the Texans at +9, 2-game 7-point teaser. Lay the 30 cents there. I don't see either one of those teams losing, and they're not losing by 10, which is the only way you lose that teaser. And then I will take one teaser, only 6 points, so just pay the 10% juice for 1 unit. The other one's for 2 units. This one's for 1 unit. This will be Carolina as a pick 'em. You take the -6, so now it's a pick, and you'll tease that. With the Kansas City Chiefs, you mentioned 8.5, so now you get it under the 3, so it's 2.5. All KC has to do is win by a field goal, and they should win by a lot more than that. So 2 games, 6 points, Carolina with KC, and then the other one, Chargers, Texans, +9, cash it.
And Nick, why don't you have a teaser for us? Why don't you even it up with Easy here?
Absolutely, Johnny. My teaser is going to be an 8-team teaser.
Wow.
7 points, pays 11 to 1. All right?
You
I
want
love
that?
it. I
You
love
like
it.
that, Easy?
I like that.
You ready
I didn't
for
like
it?
the pick 6 Kirk Cousins, but I like this.
You ready for it? And like you said, with teasers, you want to take short underdogs that you like, bump them up past the touchdown. You like to take favorites that are looking good, get them down to that field goal number. Mix in some overs, some unders if you like it. So I'm going to come at you with an 8-team, 7-point teaser that pays 11 to 1. Now, let me tell you something. I'll be shocked if I don't hit it. Pays me 11 to 1, but guess what? 1 in 11 times? I don't think so. Ready? I'll hit it. Watch me. Kansas City, tease down to -1.5. Chicago, tease down to -3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the over, +13, over 48. New York Jets and Miami, under 51.5. The Chargers, +9. Houston Texans, +9. Green Bay Packers, +13. There you have it. 8 teams, 7-point, 11 to 1. I'm going to sprinkle just a pinch on the teaser here, just a 2-unit pinch on our teaser to win $2,400.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These 2 first-class sports handicappers are going to be filling your pockets, filling your wallets, filling your accounts all season long, leading up to the Super Bowl. So listen attentively. Follow their words wisely. And remember, stay within your limit. It's your job to do so.